All right, what is going on, everyone? We're back. First video in like, I don't know, it's been, I'd have to check my YouTube, probably about a month. Actually, I streamed at Maddie's thing in July. Yeah, that's been about a month. July 14th, 16th, I was over on his channel, spoke a little bit. But what's going on, guys? You Hex and Pulse guys are going crazy with the content. Like, streaming all day, every day. All sorts of different creators that I hadn't even heard of. Nowadays, if you YouTube Pulsechain, get all sorts of content. I was literally doing that for the other day, and I was like, subscribing to new creators. You guys are making my job super easy. So thank you for that. Bad sound. I know. Let me fix that. What happened there? Let's try that. Is that better? Yeah. All right, so I have a new setup. Broadcast stream. What's this? Check. How about now? Yeah, this is bizarre, guys. I'm sorry for audio hiccup. Mic wrecked. I was gonna show off the guild, but not. But see, everything looks fine on my end. Check. Man, I'm sorry. Sorry about this, you guys. I sound like a Dalek from Doctor Who. Yeah. Sounds like I've got a bad cold. Sound like Street Fighter. Man, this is wrecked. For my new mic fund. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys hear this? Or nothing? Airy, but yes? Okay, cool. Real weird. Well, hey, if that's working, then it's working. It's funny, the $9.99 super chat, thank you for that. For a new mic, that's funny. Good now, great, pretty clear. Alright, sweet. So I guess I'm not using this mic, I'm using this mic. It's weird because I can't hear myself now, but you guys can hear me, so that's perfectly fine. If you guys can hear me. Way better than before, good now. Alright, so I guess we're going to roll with that for now. Sorry about that, guys. I'll try to have it set up better for next time. Wow, that was a whole 5 minutes wasted of your time. Apologies.
So let's look at some charts because that's what most of us probably care about. Let me share my screen real quick. See, now I shared this a while ago on Twitter. I didn't actually post it myself, but I tweeted it under one of your guys' threads. I think it was Kareem actually, where he said that the DXY, the U.S. dollar currency index, fell out of its parabolic trajectory. And if you draw a simple parabolic trajectory on TradingView, again the ticker is DXY. Not only can you see, it's a 3-day chart, mind you, that we had our wick, our sort of blow off top wick, if you will, around July 14th or so. Again, this is a 3-day chart, so I might be off by about 3 days. And we recently had a bounce. Actually, what's interesting is that this double top kind of formation that's recently formed is kind of corresponding to the double bottom formation that we see in crypto. But if you want to see crypto make a nice rebound, I did this little parabolic shape back here to illustrate that this was a crypto bear market. I believe this region over here was crypto going sideways, and then, for example, this region over here was a crypto bull market. So generally speaking, they're inversely correlated, meaning when one goes up, the other goes down, and vice versa. For the most part, it's not a perfect inverse correlation, but that's good news for crypto technically, that we might be falling out of this parabolic trajectory and falling into a different trajectory that lets crypto breathe a little bit. Not only that, on the 3-day chart you see you have like some divergence on the RSI, but yeah, I mean that could be good for overall crypto. You can see that Bitcoin's kind of doing the opposite. Instead of a double top, it's doing a sort of double bottom, if you will. Same with Ethereum. Although Ethereum has been holding up way better than Bitcoin. You can see here, like, it bounced from the 300 week and actually made it to its 20-week MA. Got swiftly rejected, but for example, Bitcoin, it didn't even make it to its 21-week moving average. Technically, neither did Hex, but it got closer. So Ethereum actually reached it, right? Let me get rid of a few more curves. So Ethereum actually reached it. Its 20-week MA. Hex almost reached it, right? It was at around 8 cents. Hex got to around 7.3 cents. And Bitcoin didn't really got kind of close. It got to 25K, but it was still about 10% away. So, yeah. So Bitcoin and Hex is about 10% away, and Ethereum actually reached it. What up, big dog? See you, David. We got a dip coming in very soon. The Feds are still milking the dead cow. Glad to have me back. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It's been a minute. But yeah, I'm just getting right back into it. There's a lot to talk about, you guys. I'm just warming up here. So yeah, so that's what I was gonna get at, right? DXY having its double top, falling out of its parabola. At the same time, Bitcoin looks like it's bottoming out. Ethereum looks like it's potentially bottoming out. Same with Hex, but we could have another leg down. We never really know. We never really know with things like on Bitcoin. You still have Mt. Gox coins. You still have, I think, the Silk Road coins. You still have a Grayscale Bitcoin deficit. So these are all still bearish indicators that say, look, Bitcoin could still go down. With Ethereum, I guess you could say you still have a deficit on that Grayscale product as well. But you have some bullish things for Ethereum, like the merge incoming, right? Which could explain why it's the only one that actually reached its 20-week moving average. So ETH 2.0, arguably launching in less than a month, right? So what could that mean for Pulsechain? Don't know. Actually haven't given that much thought. Maybe make a video of that in the future. But for now, what that means in terms of price is Ethereum reached its 20-week MA while Hex and Bitcoin did not. So I had a note here because there's a ton to talk about. So now that there are more of you in here, you see the cool new shields in the background. Finally got them up. Got a Hex shield, got a Pulsex shield, and got a Mintra shield. What else were we going to talk about? Oh, Tornado Cash. Absolutely wrecked. Banned in the United States. And it sucks because it was one of the few products, in my opinion, that is actually good in crypto, right? You have a few good dApps in crypto, a few good protocols, applications, use cases, if you will. And one of them was Tornado Cash. And I remember back in the day, not that long ago, actually, it's been less than a year. It's been less than a year since OneInch.io was banned in the U.S. A simple DeFi aggregator where all liquidity was aggregated, so you would get the best order execution, right? It was banned in the U.S. and it was a simple, useful tool. OneInch.io, I loved it, and then it got banned, and I was not able to use it anymore, unfortunately. Now Tornado.cash. It was a protocol that allowed users to make their Ethereum anonymous or their USDC anonymous, their DAI anonymous. Just brought users back anonymity, a absolute necessity for business, right, and a fundamental right for humans. So that sucks. OneInch.io in the U.S. banned. Tornado.cash U.S. banned. U.S. not looking so hot in terms of crypto, right? Tornado got their GitHub banned. Circle locked the USDC in their contracts. Infura denied all, RPC requests to their nodes. Just absolute, complete, and utter censorship via these corporations. So you ask yourself, and this has become a common narrative in the DeFi Ethereum community these days, is like, when are they going to come after Uniswap? Right? I need to show the stream link. That's right. No wonder the viewing is so low. Here, let me show this link real quick. My bad. Thank you to whoever said that. Small Town Crypto. Show that link real quick. Twitter. Here, let me get rid of my screen for a second. You guys check out the cool shields in the background. But yeah, let me get this over on Twitter. Got that sun coming through. Might have to close that. Fix that situation. Live on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube now. Send tweets. Cool. Let's do Telegram as well. So give me some questions while I'm showing this link. Canada has limits on how much you can buy or sell. I'm telling you, man, these governments don't really know what they're doing in terms of crypto. All right, cool. So just showed that link. Man, I missed you guys. Here, let me get the screen share back on. Let me close that. My eyes are getting wrecked. Excuse me, guys. Alright, that should be way better. Alright, Sir Gerard is back. Yes, sir, before the beeps up. Why not just VPN to Tornado or 1inch? I mean, you can, but it's like, you can. I won't get into that, but sure, there are still ways to access it, but they're just making it more difficult for the common person to access it. They're making people feel like criminals for using it. Right, they're creating this chilling effect where people are afraid to use simple, good technology because this narrative has been spun that it's only used by criminals, and that's just a false narrative. Right, so I think what's happening is wrong nonetheless, regardless of why not just VPN to Tornado or 1inch. It's like, what if the government starts wanting to feed you, bugs on a ration basis? You're gonna say, well, why don't you just go hunt your own elk on the side? Like, you could say, why not this suckier alternative? But that's not the goal. The goal is for things to be better. Hexagon Contractor says, Gerardo, how you been? Been well. Been well, thank you for asking. I have really great NFT projects. I'm working on that. This art tied to it. Yada yada. Share details. Chat with me. Put it on Mintra. I mean, just upload it, man. It says I'd love to put it on Mintra. That's literally all you have to do is upload it once the Mintra app is live, which, by the way, we're going to be talking about very, very shortly. Man, this viewership is absolutely pitiful. You guys need to shill this. Shill it. What up, Brian? Good to see you. I forget that I keep sharing this and it's like the same screen. But anywho, yeah, so, US not looking so hot. Europe is starting to look a little hotter. I mean, no government is perfect, but, some, I don't want to get too much into that, right? We want to talk about crypto here. But nonetheless, Tornado Cash banned, a sad day for crypto. We looked at prices, we looked at DXY, we looked at Bitcoin, we looked at Ethereum. Obviously, we care a lot about Hex. We looked a little bit at Hex. I wanted to let you guys know that the staking front end for looking to Hex is actually really, really, really close, right? So there are two ways you can build this site specifically in the world of my devs right now, and that's it can be built in HTML, CSS, JS. This is some boring stuff for you guys. Or it can be built in React. Now, the HTML site is basically done, right? You can stake your Hex, beautiful. If it's before the day is ticked over, it's this cool little white button where you can cancel it in time. Once the day rolls over, it turns red because it turns into an emergency end stake. Once it's ready, right, on time, stake matured, turns green, beautiful, you can end your stake. Once it's late, it turns yellow, so you have this nice little UI. The end of stake button is finally there. We actually forgot it in our first kind of private view one, but the end of stake buttons are now there. Everything is actually, from a functionality perspective, perfect. The reason I haven't launched it to the public yet is because the data isn't perfect yet. So what do I mean by that? I mean data that is reflected. For example, when you go into the native go.hex.com app, you can see your yield reflected just from inflation or from specifically the big payday event and so on. And you have these columns of data. And so that data is not quite perfect yet. It's perfect in the beginning, the first few columns, and then once you actually get to the yield part, the big payday yield column is something we're working on now. After that, I mean, it's ready to rock. And then from there, we can upgrade to a React version whenever. That can be like the v2.1, if you will. If you're calling this first staking front end look next v2, then you call it next one v2.1. I hope all that made sense. Or like let me know in the chat if that made sense. What happened? Log by end of the year. What's good? I mean, hopefully. Glad to see you back. Can't wait for Pulsechain Mintra launch by Effect. Good stuff. I don't think your audio is coming through my SM7B, man. No, it's not. It's coming through these right now because for some reason this isn't going through. Staker class, it's good. Back at it again on the charts. Love you, bro. Glad you're back. Good to have you, man. Good to have you guys. So, all right. A lot of talking, right? A lot of talking. Lots to talk about. So looking at Hex front end, like I said, it's basically done. For the most part, I want it to be absolutely perfect. I want that one column of data to also be perfect. So once we get the big payday yield and just yield in general, it's golden. Right? It's ready, and it'll be launched. So hopefully that's soon. Currently, all my dev manpower is focused on Myntra, that bad boy right there. So after September, once we get our demo marketplace out, then I can pivot a couple guys back into some looking to Hex staking front end stuff. I only really have one guy on it when I should have like 2 or 3. So I have like one guy fully on it and then one guy like kind of like half on it. And that's my best guy, right? I want him to be fully on it. But once I can get my best guy fully on it, then that'll be a killer. But for now, there's a lot to talk about with Mintra. I want to let you guys know, like a lot to talk about with Mintra. But should we talk some hex price first? What do you guys think? Should we talk some hex price, some more looking hex dev stuff, some Mintra dev stuff? This can be a short and sweet stream. I don't necessarily just want to like talk forever. So your class wants to know Mintra? All right, bet. All right, spectral mana. All right, bet. Let's do it. So cool. I love to see the excitement. Yeah, run it. When it comes to Mintra, things look good, man. Things look really good. So back in the day, when I was making videos more consistently, I would talk about what needed to be done from kind of like a three-pronged approach. I would say, want to have the coin ready, and we'll talk about how it's done. Easy, PRC20, simple staking contract. It's really not that hard, all right? So that was easy. That was done. People have actually played with 2 versions of the Mint ticker on Pulsechain testnet. Cool. Easy. Done. Now the other 2 parts of this three-pronged approach. So we had the coin, the staking app, and the marketplace app. Staking app was also done for the longest time. It's actually recently been optimized and fixed. The burn page was, a little off. Perfect. Close to perfect now. So staking app, you could call it done, right? There's no APY right now because there's no volume going through any test marketplace, right? So once you have volume, then you have APY there. And then the marketplace app, that was the final piece, arguably the most important piece, right? The actual NFT marketplace app. So that in and of itself needs also a bunch of parts. You could say that the marketplace app itself, the way we're structuring it right now, has your create NFT part, section, whatever you want to call it. I actually have some notes here I had ready for you guys. All right, so you can create NFTs via Mintra. You can have your typical Explorer page, right, a Discover page where you can see what's up with people, categorize, etc. The back end, the front end of that works. The Create NFT works. That whole series of pages. The Create Collection pages work. View profile, all of that. Basically, you can already sell NFTs. You can buy them. You can list them. You can put them up for instant sale or for auction. All on Pulsechain testnet, version 2B, by the way. So marketplace is like 80 to 90% done. The last real kind of, I wouldn't even say challenge anymore, but the last real challenge we have, which thank God we got Hex Live in the chat. I want to make a huge announcement real quick for Hex Live. We hired Hex Live as our lead dev about 2-3 weeks ago. I think it's been about 3 weeks at this point, and he's been absolutely crushing it. So shout out to Hex Live. He's on Twitter, also Hex Live, I believe. Don't bug him too much. He needs to be working on the code. But yeah, no, he's been an absolute essential, right? A key component to making this whole machine work way more smoothly, right? Absolutely key. So I want to give a shout out to Hex Live real quick as our lead dev, or as he likes to call himself, architect of tech, or lead of all tech things, or something like that. Go check out his bio. Excited, man. Excited to have you too, and perfect timing because the point of what we were going to talk about right now on stream, Hex Live, the master dev, nice, is that final part of the NFT marketplace, which is that import feature. What the hell do I mean when I say import? What I mean by that is, in a way, Mintra needs to become an NFT wallet as well. Because when you connect your MetaMask to the Mintra NFT marketplace, there needs to be a way for you to view the NFTs you have in your wallet, right? So that you can sell them or do whatever you want with them. And what if those NFTs weren't created on Mintra? What if they were created via OpenSea, right? And then forked over after Pulsechain mainnet launches? Or what if, Pulsechain mainnet launched and then these NFTs were created via someone's, remix, on the Ethereum remix interface. Like these NFTs could come from pretty much anywhere, and therefore, at first, it'll make sense to have, right, in the beta or the V1, it'll make sense to have an import contract address or import NFTs via inputting a contract address. So it'd be a simple, text field input. You paste your contract addy and import NFTs. If there's an NFT associated with it, and there's your ownership associated with it, then it'll appear in your wallet and you can do stuff with it. You can interact with it because you own it. So that is pretty much that last part. That's like the last key part, because everything else that I mentioned works. Discover pages, and these are all series of pages and micro UIs and all of that, right? So everything from creating NFTs to collections to selling NFTs, placing them on instant sale or on timed auctions, placing bids on them, viewing your profile, changing your description, liking an NFT, categorizing, like all of those little details, pretty much very, very done, if not close to done, if not done already. And again, it's that last part I mentioned, which is specifically the NFT wallet sort of component of this whole thing is, and the reason I say it's not necessarily a challenge is because we kind of know what we need to do at this point. Now it's just a matter of doing it. So shout out again to HexLive, the master dev, for helping out with all of this. Right on. So yeah, what's good with everyone? Have I missed anything? I haven't been up in the YouTube scene too much, but tried a little something different with a thumbnail. If you guys didn't notice, man, yeah, I usually have over 100 viewers. Maybe I need to start viewing more or streaming more. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Someone says, can we get $10 mint? Hope so, man. Nice. Yeah, people are stoked. Mintra dev stuff. What's the verification process like for a creator? Yeah. So the way we have it set up, basically the whole internal operation is we're going to have our beta app, just a basic demo, right? A basic demo app where people can go in and do things, and maybe we don't have all the bells and whistles for the beta app. So little things like verification or like really, really, really perfect, almost close to actual, minimum viable products, as close to that as possible. Eventually, but yeah, and that beta kind of demo version, we might not necessarily have, or do we already have that? Actually, no, hold on, I think we already do have that verification. Yeah, no, I think we already have that. It might not be in our demo, like I said, our V1, but I'm pretty sure we already have the UI for that. We might even have the code for that. So again, even if it's not in our first public beta, it'll definitely be in the actual, the product when it launches. Eventually, it'll make it into a beta because you want to get your testnet marketplace as close to mainnet as possible, right, before actually launching. So yeah, I hope that answered all your guys' questions. So for the most part, things are looking pretty good, man. From after that, it's pretty much launched to the public, aka you guys. See what's up, get feedback, and get some audits, and then wait for mainnet like the rest of everyone. Not that I'm not already waiting, but so let me read real quick. I keep grabbing this, like the audio is going through here right now. So yeah, pretty much all that is done. The back end and the front end guys are catching up to the design. Smart contracts are being reviewed by our best Solidity dev right now. So like I said, next up is probably a fully functional beta Myntra marketplace app on Pulsechain testnet. And then after that, we do our third-party audits of all of our smart contracts. And we wait for mainnet, baby. And in the meantime, if we do have that nice buffer of time, then we get a head start on the mobile app or something, right? But yeah, eventually that whole manually importing your NFTs will be automated, by the way, in the actual product that launches. We'll have way better UI improvements for user flow, etc. Right. Finished product is always way better than the beta. Will creators be able to create through Mintra? If so, will the NFTs decentralize to Mintra? So what's cool, I mean, what do you mean by centralized? Because OpenSea allows creators to mint through the platform but are super centralized. So yeah, you will be able to mint and create NFTs through the Mintra platform. You will be able to, and they will have their own ticker associated with them, similar to OpenSea. They have their own contracts via which NFTs are minted. I think it's just called OpenSea Wallet or something. And then from there you get your NFTs, which are of a series of OpenSea Store or something like that. Open Store, I think, is the ticker. But yeah, no, you'll be able to create them. They will be hosted via our servers as well as via IPFS, right? So that's really up to the creator, right? Whoever's uploading, because if they host on IPFS, if they upload to IPFS and then paste the link, right? Similar to what OpenSea does, where you can paste IPFS link when you upload an NFT, and that will go into metadata, so that if it's always hosted on IPFS, which arguably it should be, then it'll always be hosted on Myntra, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Thanks for answering my questions. You are a legend. I appreciate it. Stay class. Yeah, it's really not popping in here right now, but I just really wanted to let you guys know what's up. In terms of Hex, in terms of Mintra, in terms of looking at Hex, everything's going well. I mean, obviously prices are down like 80-90%, but look, guys, now's the time to build. Now's the time to create that cash flow. Now's the time to, I mean, not financial advice, but when crypto is down 80-90%, usually it's a great time to buy. So now would probably be a decent time to be doing something like that. Right, and as you can see here on the screen, Hex has gotten rejected by its 20-week moving average multiple times, so we can actually decisively get above it, hold it as support multiple times, keep rallying. You know, we're still in bear territory, in my opinion, and you know that it's getting closer. Like for us right now, that means we only really have to get above 6 or 7 cents again, hold it sustainably. So, but this looks like a crab market, in my opinion. It looks like the Fed hasn't pivoted yet. I don't want to get too much into that, but it looks like we're in a crab market, aka a sideways market, similar to what Bitcoin endured back in its glory days. And it's different, right? Because Bitcoin had its 95% dip after its first sort of blow off top rally to $30. But what Hex currently is going through right now looks to be a little more like this kind of a formation, to be honest. Sort of flat crab market, even though this year on Bitcoin was only an 86% dip or so. Ethereum had its 95% dip after its first 10,000x, right here, nice 95% dip. And then it did a crab market for about a year or so. So, I mean, after you dip 95%, well, this 95% dip on Bitcoin recovered quite quickly, but notice, again, it got above its 20-week MA, held the support, rallied, bull market continued. Until X can do that, I think we're in a sideways market, especially if you think 2.8 cents was the bottom, or even if you think we're in a sideways market, you could argue we could hit that again, right? That we're just like in this range between 2.8 and 7.3-ish or so. Until we're out of there, until we're above here and there. I mean, this looks really similar to what Bitcoin had back in the day. It's 20K, remember, 6K, bounced back up, and it kept doing this fake floor 6K, trapdoor to 3K, similar with Hex, fake floor at 10 cents, trapdoor to 3 cents, and now potentially a recovery phase or a macro accumulation phase, right, until governments start turning the money printer back on, specifically the US. So, you know, once the money printers turn back on, this little guy can absorb a pretty good amount of that historically from what we've seen. So that's all I'm going to say. What's up, fam? Long time no stream. Yeah, it's been a minute. And clearly it's been a minute, right? No viewership left. Oh no, what have I done? Do I have to stream earlier in the day? Should I show this link better? Like, what's good, y'all? Everyone gone, or is this just bear market views? Sad. I remember the good days of Hex, man. We were getting like 300 viewers on here during that rally up to 50 cents. So our views down 80%? Let me check. 50 over 300. Yeah, about 85% dip on views too. Damn. Well, no worries. It's weird, right? Like right now when people should technically be here researching crypto and arguably buying the living crap out of it. Not financial advice, but it's not the time. And then they come back when prices are rallying. It's like a Veblen good, right? One of those goods, like a luxury good that people want as it gets more expensive, and so it becomes more desirable, and then it gets more expensive, and therefore more desirable. There are certain goods like that. I'm pretty sure crypto is kind of like that. That reflexivity you guys speak of, right? It's very real, which is why a good asset can't hit 95%. Bitcoin has dropped 95%. Ethereum has dropped 95%. Amazon has dropped 95%. Hex just did its 95% dip. This is one for the history books, you guys. Before this, our biggest dip was 86% on Big Payday. That looks like peanuts compared to now, right? This is the longest we've been beneath the 20-week moving average. This is a full-fledged Hex bear market. We've never seen one before, but now we have data. And I did a whole video on this a while ago saying, like, now we know that Hex got hit in September relative to the peak of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the technical top of April and May. You could argue the actual literal top for Bitcoin and Ethereum was in November, but nonetheless, Hex's top was in September, so it was offset in some direction, whether you say, 4 months this way or 2 months that way, it was an offset top. So maybe the bottom is offset as well. But it does do slightly its own cycle, slightly offset in time, definitely offset in magnitude. And you can see that more clearly on a chart like the ones on lookintohex.com. Zoom in at 200%. I'm talking more specifically something like this. Right, let's get rid of these. So yeah, you can see, right, like Bitcoin, wait, hold on. Where did Bitcoin have a 65K top? Oh, Bitcoin had a 65K top around here, right? About 27 days later, Ethereum had its, whatever this was, like 4,000 something top. And then prices dipped, Hex kept going, and during this sort of, you could call it a dead cat bounce, but it really went and faked everyone out. All the breakout traders, once we got above 65K, pretty much got them long again, and nuked them. But the point is, during this bounce was when Hex had its all-time high, right? So it's like, all right, people are done making money with Bitcoin. Let's run it up with Ethereum 27 days later, like the previous cycle. All right, that peaks. People are done making money with Ethereum. All right, let's put that energy into Hex. Hex has its crazy blow off top, where it goes from the 4 to 6 cent region, 10x, right, all the way up to the, the 50 cent region, and now we're basically back to the 4 to 6 cent region, which is kind of interesting actually. But yeah, it's interesting to see how they have different cycles, offset in time, which is my point. Like, although you could say that they're way more correlated these days. Like, look at that. Everything had its bottom pretty much on the same day. So that decorrelation, I don't know if it's there anymore, you guys. Slightly. Like, it's sometimes there, it's sometimes not. It just really, really depends. For example, here, Bitcoin and Ethereum started rolling over. Hex had its final bounce. So you can argue when Hex is doing its own thing and decorrelating, it doesn't do that forever, right? It had its little yeehaw bounce up here, but then it just followed the rest of the market and fell, right? Even though a lot of its liquidity is tied to USDC, nonetheless, it's still a risk-on asset for a lot of people that they just dump, right? And when things look bad, unfortunately. But no, this is an interesting chart to look at on lookintohex.com. The actual ROI chart from launch is also a really cool chart to look at. You can see that the Hex price here in pink. You can compare to a Hex share, right? A staked Hex. and how that has a slightly better ROI because it's been locked up in gaining yield. And so that's here in white. It's close to pretty much where Ethereum was 1,000 days into its life cycle, about a 2 to 300x from launch. Pretty good. And after 90% dip, right? So you could argue we're around kind of like this period of time on Hex. It had a 95% dip and then kind of bounced up, doing this sort of fiasco. So again, I think we're in a crab market, but that's just me. Kind of curious to know what you guys think. Good to see you back. Appreciate you. Thank you. 24 and 25. I mean, it's kind of far out, man. It's hard to tell right now. But 2023, I can say, I think it'll be good. I think 2022 is kind of a wash at this point, if we're being real. Like, I wouldn't expect any good crypto price action this year. If we get it, excuse me, I'm stoked. I'm positioned. If we get a crypto bull, I'm ready. If we get a crypto bear, will I nibble at some more? It's sad to say, yeah, probably. But we all want the crypto bull to come back. Come on, guys. So if you're not positioned already for that, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, Hex is still 90% off. Is that not a killer deal? 90% down. Ethereum down 66% and Bitcoin down 69%. Another thing I wanted to bring up. Ethereum is down less from its all-time high currently than Bitcoin is. Is Ethereum the new blue chip? These little metrics, man, they're starting to make me think that Ethereum could flip Bitcoin this next cycle. This previous cycle, it came a 2x away from flipping BTC. It keeps getting closer and closer. So, if you hate Hex, cool, you got Pulse. If you hate Pulsex, hate Richard Hart stuff, Ethereum. That's pretty much it, right? If you hate all that, Mintra. We also have other cool things like Hedron and Maxi, and I guess Bitcoin if you really want to be like a crypto boomer. But yeah, crypto's cool. I'm here now. Won't see me in the bull. Nice, bro. See, you're built different. You're in the right place. If you're watching a Hex stream in the crypto bear market, you're arguably in one of the best positions to be in. That's all I'm going to say. If you hate, you fail. I agree. Or, I mean, kind of. Yeah, because you're kind of giving the other person attention, so you're not winning. So. Drink your water, guys. So, I mean, I've been on here for, 43 minutes. Wow, nice. What else did we talk about? We talked about Hex, talked about Mintra, talked about looking at Hex, prices. Where do we go from here? No clue, man. I mean, I wanted to label this, I wanted to title the stream, I told you so, Bitcoin down, Ethereum down, or something like that, because in one of my previous streams, it's literally titled. Let me pull that up right now, actually. I want to show you guys proof. Literally title it. One second. Can you guys see this? No? Yes, okay, you can see this. Bitcoin to 20K, Ethereum to 800, Hex, Pulsechain, Pulsex, Mintra, Crypto Bear, blah, blah, blah. So Bitcoin to 20K, question mark, ETH to 800, question mark. You see this, right? Like, what happened right after that? Bitcoin went to 17.5K, 10% beneath my call. So if you'd had a limit order set, you would have been pretty good. And when I say ETH to 800, it went to 880. So these are decent calls, right? I pretty much made those calls, and we're up from there. About a 2x on Ethereum, which is a limp like 20% on Bitcoin. But it's not that hard. It was kind of clear to see that we were overdue for a bounce. Now for Hex, the bounce was also very clear, overdue. I'm not gonna lie, personally, I didn't make this public or anything. I thought Hex still had a little room to go, but it didn't. Right? It stopped shy of its 20-week MA. Now I think I might know why, because I was expecting it to hit it on the USD chart, forgetting you have Hex BTC charts as well. So on the Hex BTC chart, you can see that we actually did hit our 20-week moving average and got rejected exactly from that. Just the same as with Ethereum, right? Ethereum got rejected from its 20-week moving average, and the Hex BTC pair did as well. And the Hex BTC pair is one of the few pairs that actually overperforms in the long term against Bitcoin, right? Because you also have that ETH BTC pair, which has been performing really well against Bitcoin as well. You can see it's currently sitting at around 0.076, meaning you can get about, what is that, like 15 Ethereum for Bitcoin or so? You just have to do 1 over 0.076. I don't really want to do the math in my head right now. I think it's about 15 or 16. So you can get about 15 or 16 Ethereum for 1 Bitcoin. And so that's what the ETH BTC chart reflects. But the reason I bring this up is because this is one of the few charts that trends up against Bitcoin. Again, I was talking earlier, do I think Ethereum can flip Bitcoin during this next upcoming bull cycle? Yes, I do. And do I think you should be prepared for that by holding something like Ethereum? Maybe not too much, personally. I don't like to talk about my personal finances, but if I were to hold more of a coin, I'd want more of the one that overperforms. And so when everything is down, some things are down 80, 90%, other things like Ethereum are down 6%, maybe the ones that are, younger, have equal product market fit, have shown to reach similar metrics, like Hex, it is 10,000x. If you overlay it with Ethereum, it looks like it's, all I'm going to say is overlay the 95% dip of Hex with Ethereum, you'll thank me later. Point being, these charts that trend against Bitcoin to the upside, that trend up against Bitcoin, are arguably good assets to hold, right? Ethereum, Hex, etc. Can't wait to see the Pulse ETH charts and the Pulse BTC charts, see how those overperform. It'll be interesting to see all of these sorts of pairs, right? Yeah. Pulse Bitcoin, Pulse ETH, the pairs, right? PLS versus BTC, PLS versus ETH, and also obviously the PLSX versus PLS will be an interesting pair to look at. Yeah. Even PHEX BTC, right? So you're gonna have a Hex BTC and a PHEX BTC pair. So a lot of interesting pairs are gonna come out of this. Hoping Pulsechain launches this year. If not, again, you guys, be positioned. Do your homework. If you're here, it means you know something, right? It means you're probably in a good spot. But in terms of knowledge base, to prepare yourself for the next bull cycle. So yeah, just listen to these streamers, you guys that are out here putting in their time and effort. Jim Rat Crypto is a great one. You have Corey with his streams, another great one. You have Maddie, I think he's actually live right now. He's another great one. Like, who else? I think RH Maximalist. A lot of you guys who are like literally streaming, you have content every day. You Hex and Pulsechain. You have content every single day to look at. There's another one, I think ABC Crypto or something. They make more kind of stock footage edits with certain Hex content as well mixed in. It's kind of cool. So you guys are killing it with the content. I'm glad to be back making my own little niche content here in the Hex Pulse ecosystem. So appreciate you guys being here. Oh, ETH 2. Fuck. I forgot to talk about that, right? I think I mentioned it, but yeah, less than a month until ETH 2.0. I agree about ETH flipping. What version of ETH do you think will be more valuable, ETH proof of work or proof of stake? Proof of stake, I think, is more valuable of a concept because you don't have miners dumping the coins, right? You have stakers actually holding up the price. Similar to Hex and its inflation mechanism, and similar to Pulsechain actually in its consensus mechanism. Yeah, to my point, you are a dedicated crypto head if you're watching streams at the bottom of the bear market. I agree. Dude, I love your charts. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, Crypto Heartbeat is another great one. Mentioning some good ones in the chat. The Chart Master. Nice. What do I think about Ripple making ETH bridge? I have no idea. All I know is bridges have gotten hacked left and right. I'm honestly kind of worried about the Pulsechain bridge, you guys. Like, all I know is a lot of these hacks that I've been seeing on Twitter and just in the news of crypto, it's Harmony Bridge hacked, this bridge hacked, like just these bridges hacked for millions. I'm not saying single digit millions, guys. Some of these bridges have been hacked for hundreds of millions of dollars. Can you fathom losing that much money of other people's money? Bro, just so bad. So bad. So bridges are tricky, man. Be careful with bridges. But the cool part about Pulsechain is you don't even need to use the bridge if you don't want to, because you will have all of your balances copied over to the other network. Therefore, equal sides, equal amounts on both sides. You don't need to go all in on one side necessarily. I'd even argue you might even want to just stay balanced and do nothing because you don't want to over leverage on one side. What if the market goes against you, right? So bridges, tricky. Careful. Crypto head right here. How can you not pound your head with this life-changing info? No, I agree, man. There's a lot of opportunity in crypto. It just goes up so much, dude. Like Bitcoin went from a penny to $69,000. That's 6.9 million x, 690 million%. Ethereum went up 30,000x. It's 3 million%. Hex went up 1 million% without staking. Wonder what Pulsechain will do. I wonder what Pulsex will do. If we get copies, how will a bridge work? Wouldn't that double our coins? Well, no. I mean, you are getting your coins doubled. What are you talking about? That's what the copy is. So right now you have, let's say you have 1,000 hex, right, on Ethereum. Well, after Pulsechain launches, you'll have 1,000 hex on Ethereum, and you'll have 1,000 hex on Pulsechain. Cool. So the 1,000 hex on Ethereum, you'll only be able to stake on Ethereum. The 1,000 hex on Pulsechain, native, Pulsechain hex will only be able to stake on that chain. So each individual native hex will only be able to be staked on their native chain. However, if you want to, let's say you want to speculate on the value of your hex on Ethereum, but you don't want to be chopped up by Uniswap fees and gas fees on Ethereum because they're just too high. Well, what you could do is you could bridge over your hex from Ethereum to Pulsechain, and that would be a bridged over version, which we would call eHex, which wouldn't be stakeable on that foreign chain to it because it came from a different chain. It was born elsewhere, and it would have a different contract address. That's what makes it unable to be staked on that foreign chain. It will be able to be traded, for example, on Pulsex. So there you might not get chopped up by trading fees or network fees because Pulsechain, one of its greatest value propositions is the low fee environment, and therefore you could bridge over any Ethereum token over to Pulsechain, even Ethereum itself, to speculate on it via the premier DEX on Pulsechain, which will be Pulsex. So to answer your question, let's see, Suzy Jones says, if I'm holding 10K USDC, I can bridge the copy from Pulsechain back to ERC20, and then I end up with 20K USDC. See, no, that's not how it works. So even vice versa. So you're copied over USDC. It'll have the same contract address on a different chain, right? And that's up to Circle and Coinbase if they want to validate or invalidate those coins or just do nothing, right? But let's say you bridge that over to Ethereum, it won't be just native USDC. It'll be a bridged over dummy token representing a copied over native token, if that makes sense. So this dummy token, so when you bridge in, you actually get a dummy token. It'll be called like PUSDC, meaning it'll be USDC that you got from Pulsechain. If that makes sense. So if you do this, you won't have 20K USDC. You'd have 10K USDC and 10K PUSDC, if that makes sense. And there's no guarantee that PUSDC will be valuable or redeemable. So a PUSDC on yours, yeah, exactly. Cool. Yep. Hex wallet, I think, solves this. I mean, he solves what? I said a lot of things there. There's nothing really to be solved here. I mean, just, talking about bridges and how they work. And yo, Gerardo, good to see you, bro. Good to see you too, Richard Cranium. Nice profile pic. Thanos smoking someone with a crown. Nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's see. Did we look at everything? I'll let you guys know what's going on. The DXY, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex, Pulsechain still waiting for launch. Looking Hex taking front end almost done. Mintra almost done. Oh, big piece of news I totally forgot to talk about. Las Vegas. So, who's going to Las Vegas? I'll be there personally. Hope to meet some of you guys. Right? I actually have a cool announcement to make on Friday. I'll be streaming with Naga, and together we're gonna make some cool announcements in regards to the Nagabo mansion party, right? So stay tuned for an announcement on that. What will the wallet do? Great chart. Sorry for the heavy questions. No worries at all. I love these questions. What will the Richard Hart wallet? I have no idea. He's complained a lot about the fact that you can't do basic things on the MetaMask wallet, which I agree with. Certain basic things like, I don't know, you can't batch send to users. You're like, all right, that'd be kind of cool. You can't order your coins by most highest to lowest value. You can't see like coin history in a clean way where it's like export all my transactions. Or can you? I don't think you can. What other things? It's just cool things that you should be able to do with a wallet, right? What else? Let me think. It could act as sort of an aggregator, kind of like a 1inch, where it checks all the available liquidity. So it checks Pulsex, it checks the fork of Uniswap, it checks basically everything that was forked over, or anything that was actually built too. Basically checking all available liquidity sources for whatever token you're trying to swap. So you can just be in the wallet and do your swaps in there. You wouldn't even have to go to Uniswap or a 1inch or a Pulsex. You would just be able to be in your wallet, right, and just do your swaps and actually get a better deal than if you went to any of these individually, because it would, aggregate across all liquidity. Now, at first, it'll probably get all that liquidity from Pulsex, because Pulsex will have the most liquidity for a while, if not for a long time. It might have that critical mass from the beginning to the point where it just keeps it and keeps that sort of first mover advantage forever. We'll see. But yeah, the wallet could do a lot of cool things, man. I would add all that, except what I've heard him talking about. What else could you add to a crypto wallet? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of cool things. 169 likes on the 70th. Nice. Appreciate you liking the chat or liking the video. We'll not go to Vegas this time. It was nice meeting Gerardo last Hex conference. Yeah, it was cool meeting all you guys. I got a ton of pictures. I'm actually going to start posting them on Twitter leading up to September. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. Yeah, I'm going to start posting some pictures. Meeting you guys is really cool. So I'm looking forward to meeting more of you. Let's get to 1.5 cents and shake out the weekend. We got the real Hex Bear God in the chat. Oh man, got some fun here. Real Hex Bear God being a menace here in the chat. But yeah, man, that's something to be discussed. Those comments you're making in the chat, that's something that should be discussed later, because it's kind of a delicate situation. A lot of people involved. I actually don't know full details in regards to the Pulse conference yet. Was Mintra the main sponsor? Yeah. Does that kind of suck? Yeah. Didn't need any of this kind of drama. But hey, you know what? Nonetheless, we're pivoting, and I'll be in Vegas, right? I'll be meeting you guys. We'll have a good time, right? I'll be at the Naga Mansion party, for example, and we'll see what we can make of the situation. Personally, I was not involved in that planning or anything whatsoever. It was just supposed to be a cool, like, look, we're supporting what you do, but I'll give you the official announcement later, but it's not looking good, you guys, in terms of Mintra association with PulseCon. It's not looking good. But I'll be there. I'll be in Vegas meeting y'all. Again, emphasis on the mansion party is gonna be lit. Good night. Gotta shut down. Great content. Come to Illinois. What's there in Illinois for me, brother? Yeah. So, right on. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I've been on here for an hour. I think I touched on everything I wanted to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll fix my audio for next time because it was absolutely fried this time. Apologies for that. Yeah, peace.